No, I'm not a writer.
Okay. Green pigeon peas dhal, and this is the green pigeon peas here. I'd love to say that I picked it straight off the tree and shelled it, but I didn't. This is from frozen, and if you go to your favorite West Indian grocery store, some of the East Indian grocery store, the Asian grocery stores, in the frozen section you will find it. Also the Latino stores tend to have it as well. 4 cups of that shelled green pigeon peas is thawed, rinsed, and in my pot now. And I'm doing this dhal a little bit different than how I typically do dhal, just to be able to show you all easier. And that, you know, normally I bring the water to boil and add everything to the water and then reduce it to a simmer and let it go until it's nice and tender. In this case, I'm just showing you step by step how we're doing it here. So along with the green pigeon peas, 4 cups of that green pigeon peas dhal, I also have 3/4 cups of yellow split peas. And the reason for including the split peas in here, I want that to break down and to thicken up. I do not like watery dhal. It is not, yeah, some people say it's soup like. I don't want it like that personally. It is, I am not a fan of it. That's going to break down and that's going to thicken things up for us. I also have about 7 cloves of garlic that I smashed. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a huge difference between curry pigeon peas and dhal. I see a lot of people doing curry pigeon peas and calling it dhal, and there is a difference, a huge difference between the two. You'll see I'm not using any curry whatsoever in this. What I do want is a little bit of heat from 1/4 of a Scotch bonnet pepper. So we've got that Scotch bonnet pepper, we've got the garlic, and I've got a medium onion, just a rough chop or a dice. And you know, the other thing I want to put in here, and I'm just trying to make it a bit clearer for everybody to see, is, and most people don't do this, but I think with the green pigeon peas you need it, and that is a teaspoon of Caribbean green seasoning. And my one is very thick. If you head over to caribbeanpot.com, not only will you find the recipe there, it will explain why it's thick and why I do it with olive oil as my base. This is the base of things here. Now what we need is a couple other things, well, a few other things. We need salt, we need black pepper, and as a matter of fact, we can go in with the black pepper right now. Yeah, a nice dose of that black pepper. And I also want to hit that with the salt. I'm just going to put the salt on the side here, so later on we can adjust that salt to our liking. And lastly, I need some turmeric, or what we call saffron. Not saffron, but saffron. Saffron is something totally different, whereas turmeric or saffron is, well, turmeric, ground turmeric. The other thing, we need water, and we need water to go about 3 inches above the level of everything here. To assist it to come up to a boil quickly, I am using water straight out of my kettle, and I'm making a big old mess, so I may as well take off the lid, which seems to be causing the problem. I've got all of that in there. I'm going to turn on my stove, and we're going to bring that up to a boil. Thanks for allowing me 30 seconds of your time. Uncle Chris here, reminding you, printable recipes are available at caribbeanpot.com. If you like the recipe that you're seeing right now, or any of my recipes, consider subscribing and sharing the link with your friends. And finally, I have cookbooks available for sale. I have 4 cookbooks, and I'm working on a few more. So if you head over to caribbeanpot.com/cookbooks, there will be cookbooks there ready for you all. And if you wait till the end of the video, yeah, I'm going to force you to watch the video, or fast forward, I'll give you a discount code. For those same cookbooks, you can get a discount. All right? Just before it starts coming up to a boil, I'm just going to hit that a stir. And the green pigeon peas here, ladies and gentlemen, will take a while to cook. This is why I added so much water in there. Now, earlier I said the yellow split peas will help thicken things up. I will also crush some of that green pigeon peas later on. It will take a long time. Now, if you wanted to use a pressure cooker, you can go 15-20 minutes Less water though, because yeah, then you're looking for problems. You're gonna have too much water. It'll be watery, and watery at that point. It will only take about 4 or 5 minutes to come up to the boil. It's a bit too vigorous, so I'm gonna turn my heat down to medium-low and let that go on that sort of simmer rolling boil until everything is nice and tender. It will take a while, anywhere from an hour and a half to almost 2 hours. Yeah, it does take a while, but the point is low and slow. That is how Granny and them used to do it, man. So don't fret, don't pull it out. No, don't pull out that pressure cooker. That thing dangerous. It'll burn down your house with explosion and thing. It's been an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm quite happy with what I have here. If you took one of the peas and you press against it, see how it smashes? That means it's fully cooked. At this point, I would taste it for salt and adjust the salt to your liking. What I must mention, I ended up having to add another couple cups of water during the cooking process. So when you add water, add boiling water, just so the temperature doesn't variate too much. Nice and tender. We have to do a couple things. We have to swizzle it just to break it down a little bit more, to take on a bit, to change the sort of consistency and texture a little bit, and that is why I have my swizzle stick here. And the other thing is I have a small frying pan. To that I'm going to add about 5 cloves of garlic that I smashed, which is here. I've got some cumin seeds or jeera seeds. I'm going to add that in there, about a teaspoon or so. And to that we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And what we're going to do, I'm going to add more oil. What we'll do is, and you've seen me done this in the past, this is called to chunky, or to temper it with those flavors in there. If you wanted to add some pepper, well, whatever other ingredients you like, you know, you want to add some curry leaves in there, you can add some curry leaves in there, totally up to you. We're gonna burn the garlic. Yes, you're gonna burn it. It's gonna get black. It's gonna get smoky, and this is why you want an oil with a high smoke point. You want it nice and hot, and then we're gonna add it to here, stir it, and then boom, we're done. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So with the swizzle stick, I'm just gonna press down and break up some grains. I'm not going to really swizzle, because swizzling like this wouldn't really make much of a difference, yeah? Only after we've used, and you know, if you have a potato masher, you can do the same thing. We're just using the bottom part here, just to squish some of that pigeon peas, just to help thicken up everything. And as this cools, it will thicken further, but I do want to keep the integrity of some of the peas, yeah? I want us to realize and understand that we're eating pigeon peas. And you notice how it's going here? The traditional name, I call it swizzle stick because that's how I know it, but the traditional name for this is called a Dhal gutni. Yeah? And the sort of pan, the sort of ladle, it's an iron, it's a metal ladle, instead of the frying pan that I'm using. I don't know if you guys can see it there, but this is the frying pan. You can see the color changing on the garlic. We want to go a bit more than that. But the traditional way that it would be done is not a little frying pan, but a ladle, a metal ladle, and that one was known, or is known, as a kaichul. I stand to be corrected. If anyone, you know, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments down below. This step I would recommend being very mindful that you're adding hot oil to liquid. So just be mindful of that. You want to add it with distance between you and the pot, right? So all I'm going to do is, here you can see how dark and nice it is now. It's all nice and charred, and it's probably the only time I would tell you to burn garlic. And all you would do is pour it, and you want to stir that right away, yeah? Just to mix in all of that flavor, to sort of temper everything. And I'll show you what we got here. I'm not left-handed, but the way the camera is set up, you notice how it's starting to thicken up already, and the kitchen is smelling absolutely incredible with that sort of charred garlic and the jeera or cumin. Some of you call it cumin. And as I said, if you wanted to put curry leaves in here, you can do that as well. Chris here, CaribbeanPod.com. Not curry peas. We made peas, or pigeon peas dhal. I hope you get an opportunity to give this one a try. Vegan, vegetarians, meat-free Monday. This thing here is just incredible, yeah? Just look at that now. I have some roti then I go on, you know, roti and peas dhal, boy. I feel I have a piece of zabuka too, and a little mango tal curry there. Ay, ay, ay.